Hey, Grandpa, you ready to do this?
I'm ready to go, man.
Man, congratulations, brother.
Well, thank
New
you.
grandpa coming.
Yeah. My daughter and her husband are expecting their first baby in May. So I'm gonna be a grandpa, guys. I'm fucking super
Nice.
excited.
Dude, I am
And
so
we got
happy
some
for
good
you.
movies. Thank you, man. We got some good movies today.
We do. What's our lineup for tonight?
We have The Killers on Netflix. We got Milli Vanilli. We got Zombie Town. We got Night of the Hunted Fingernails and Dear David.
You got them all this time. No drawing a
did.
blank. Yeah, that grandpa stuff. It's
I
that
know.
grandpa brain that's kicking in. I love it. All right, let's hit the intro and let's get started. What's up, my friends? Thank you for joining us as the Faces for Radio podcast presents By the Numbers, where we take new releases, streaming, video, or theater. We review them and we let you know what we think. I am your host, David, aka the 4K Lowdown, and my co-host is
Rich, aka Turner Fan 77, man. 44
otherwise known
episodes,
as Grandpa,
man.
otherwise known as Grandpa Turner Fan 77. Yeah, 40 episode 44, brother.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. And we're looking to hit 50 by the end of this year.
Yeah. I think we can do it.
I think so too. Knock on wood. I think we're gonna make that mark before right at the end of the year. I think the 27th of December will be our last show, right in between Christmas and New Year's.
For the year, not forever, just for the year.
Yeah, last episode of the season for By the Numbers. Yeah. And season 2 is coming. Speaking of coming, we have, and I didn't mean that.
No,
I didn't. Yeah, me too. I didn't mean that literally, but coming on our show, we have a special guest tonight. We've been talking about it for the last couple weeks, and we're gonna bring him out. Corey from Wilkie's Movie and Music. What's up, Corey? Thanks for jumping in, brother. Really appreciate you joining us on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me on here.
Oh,
and
man.
He's from Iowa too, so it's nice to have an Iowa boy.
He's an Iowa boy, so you could have drove and met Rich.
Yeah, I think we're just a couple. I mean, an hour away.
Yeah, it might have to happen sometime.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah,
that sounds like good. I mean, it'd be a commute for me, but you know, I'll be with you guys in spirit.
There you go.
So thank you for being here tonight, man. We really appreciate it.
Oh, this is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You had to watch these 6 movies, whether you liked them, don't like them, we'll find out.
Yeah. So, you know, you may have suffered a little bit, but you endured like us. And we both, apologize and thank you for sticking with us and watching these 6 movies that we slaughtered for tonight. What did you think about the movies as a whole? We're not going to go individual yet, but just as a whole, this group, what was it like just having to watch these and review them with our scoring system?
I thought it was a really great exercise to do. So I love watching movies, but I've kind of always been more of a thumbs up, thumbs down, or, kind of. So I really liked getting your scoring system. I'd seen your shows before, but getting your breakdown that you sent to me and looking through the movies and really watching them, thinking of each of those categories and the scoring, it gave me a more critical eye when I was watching it, I think. And so I had to work on it a little bit because it was new to me, but I enjoyed doing it. And it made me watch the movies in a different way. And I appreciated that.
Wow.
Cool.
That makes us happy.
Cool. I did the same thing to Rich. Now he can't help it but but score the
Mhm.
movie as he's watching it.
Yeah.
I can't
No.
just watch a movie. It's just like
And
instant.
just
Okay, that's
watch a
fine.
movie and tell whether he enjoyed it or not. He has to score
Mhm.
it. And then it was like, okay, did I like it? I don't even know if I liked it. But yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
been automatic pilot for me for a long time because I've been doing
Yeah.
this for 11 years now. So
And it really
but
works.
Yeah.
I like it. It's enjoyable. It's a way that we can be objective with the score, but still say whether we like the movie or not. And speaking of objective, I wanted to acknowledge that Harrison came on like hours before the show and said, stopping by to say what's up and get my cookie. So he showed up early for his cookie, but he can't make it live tonight. And I'm sorry, Harrison, you have to be present to receive your cookie. So no cookie will be sent to you for this, but I do appreciate you coming in, and I love it that you're going to catch us on the replay. So thank you so much for stopping by. Hollow Notes is in the house. What is up?
What's up, Holland?
As my friend Cal L says, calls him oatmeal. I still not going to do that, but I'm going to say it. But Holland, thank you for joining us on the show. And then my best friend,
What's up, Michael?
he jumped in. He said he would have set his alarm so he was awake for at least the beginning of the show. And he told me that there were 2 movies that he was really interested in knowing our scores for. And I told him to wait and tell us in the chat. So he's going to tell us the 2 movies that he was really interested in.
Awesome.
I know one of them was not Fingernails, but
There's one
it
movie I still like.
wasn't Milli Vanilli either. So I know those 2 are out, but it's one of those, we're going to play Russian roulette and see which ones he was really interested in knowing about. Okay, so Corey, you've seen the show. For those of you that have not seen the show and are watching us for the first time, again, thank you so much, either on replay or live. What we do is we take a certain amount of movies. Normally that's 5. This week it's 6. We watch them and we score them using the lowdown format. It's 10 aspects of a movie that we want, and we score each aspect on a 1 to 10 scale. And the total score is out of a possible 100. Can we get to 100? No, but Rich has done his damnedest by he gave a 98 this year. 2 of them, I think.
I think so.
2 98s this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit more strict. I think the highest score I've given this year is probably a 92, but it's it's kind of the way the lowest we can give is a 10, but I don't think we've ever gone anything lower than probably 30. I think.
Yeah.
And one of those is going to be tonight. So
your pick.
it was my pick, and I'm kicking myself for it. But you picked one I didn't like either. But it did score a lot better.
Out, isn't it?
Yeah, so it balances out in the end. We each pick turds for each other, and that's fine. And sometimes and sometimes you pick some gems where we're like, holy crap, that was great.
Yeah.
I picked Ballerina.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was fantastic. And then and then you picked Hunger, which I'm still one of my biggest surprises on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good.
Fantastic.
I'm still thinking of that as probably my biggest surprise, probably my biggest sleeper pick of the year. So Corey, if you've probably watched a bunch of movies. Is there a movie that stands out? Not like Oppenheimer or Barbie or anything like that, but something a little off the radar that maybe even that we haven't watched that you would say was a really good movie this year.
That was released this year, or that I just watched this year?
That came out this year.
I think you've talked about it before, but one that really caught me that I honestly didn't think I wanted to see it because I thought it didn't look that intriguing to me. But then after I watched it, I really enjoyed it, and that was Cobweb.
Oh, good.
So I believe you guys have talked about that before. So not to rehash that one, I know it's not something different, but that was one that I probably on this scoring scale, I don't know why, but when I saw the trailers for it, I didn't think much of it, and I didn't go see it in the theater.
Did I?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I had some people who are like, just give it a chance, go it. And that's why something like this is great too, is like you go through some of these you maybe would not have watched and you find a surprise. And that was a surprise for me. And I really enjoy it. So I went out and bought it. And so got that for future years.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, no, I was telling Rich about that too. I was like, dude, we got to put this in. You got to see this.
Yeah.
And
I ended up really, really liking it.
Yeah, it was good. Definitely a top 5 horror movie for me this year. And yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great pick. That was a big surprise. I didn't expect anything from that.
Hmm.
And then to get that movie with that quality,
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I'm totally buying that when it comes out. Okay, so Michael, my buddy, is interested in Night of the Hunted and Zombie Town.
Oh, Michael.
Won't you take me to Zombie Town? So that yeah, we're gonna talk about those. And I think one of those pretty darn quick. So yeah, what we do, so we take the 6 movies and then we score them and we take the average score. In this particular case, Corey has scored all these movies as well. So we took the total average score of the 3 of us, and then I ranked them from 6 to 1. So we're gonna go in reverse order from 6 to 1 to see which movies we like the best and how they ranked in the list. And I think you guys know as well as me. And there's Caveman. I was wondering when you were going to
Hey,
show
Caveman.
up.
What's up, Caveman?
What's up, Caveman? Thank you so much. Smack the like button for us. Really appreciate that. And I'm hoping Miss Caveman shows up. And I don't know if she wasn't feeling well or that maybe there was something. And I might be misspeaking, but I thought maybe she wasn't. I thought maybe she wasn't feeling well this past week. So I'm hoping she's feeling better, and if she's feeling good and I was wrong, then great. I watched 3 of the non-horror films, 1 turd. Yeah. And if you watch the horror films too, there'd probably be a couple turds. But yeah, I found out recently the guy is not much into the horror movies.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why he watched all the movies last week, because we didn't have any horror movies.
We were just trying to take as many horror movies in for Halloween.
Exactly. We were just needing a palate cleanser after October, because we did a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's just do non-horror. And and I think it just kind of randomly ended up like that. We didn't really specifically say we didn't want to do horror movies, but when we had our list, we were like, oh, no horror movies. All right. But yeah, so we watched these movies, and yeah, there was one movie that I absolutely did not like.
Me too.
I'm waiting to see if it's the same as mine.
Yeah, it was I was sick during the Sunday live stream. Oh, sorry to hear that. I was like, somebody wasn't feeling well. I thought it was Miss Caveman, but I guess it was you. Yeah, Colin saying hey. But yeah, I mean, okay. I think you guys know. What movie do you guys think is our lowest scored movie this week?
You go first, Corey.
I'd say Zombie Town.
Yeah.
Am I right
Yeah.
or wrong? Okay.
No,
I was like, did I
no,
just guess the wrong one?
No, you're right. So yeah,
Okay.
no. So our lowest scored movie of the week is
You just roll the film and it turns the actors into the living dead. It's the power to suck the souls out of everyone in its vicinity.
yeah, it's Zombie Town. And yeah, this blew. This was so
It
bad.
sucked.
Um,
Reminded me of I said it with my killer podcasts pick a Psycho Gorman. This really felt like
you guys were-
a Power Rangers.
no, we weren't on Sunday. Caveman was on.
It felt like a Power Rangers movie. The acting and just the special effects. It was just freaking terrible.
Yeah. Now this was a Goosebumps movie. This was
Yeah.
and it's R.L. Stein, so it's a Goosebumps movie. But it felt like a Goosebumps movie. This was like, family-oriented zombie film. And, I'm like, okay, there's no biting, there's no gore. What the hell?
Yeah.
These zombies. I thought, is there a positive that you can spin off of this, Corey? Is there something that is palatable with this movie that you can think of?
Oh man.
And I didn't mean to put you on the spot, because I know this is when we go over our highlights, you're gonna see there's not many highlights. But
I mean, maybe the highest score I gave it was because of some of the cast. I just that you
Yeah.
recognize some of the names or the faces that are there, but and they had some big ones in there that I'm like, that was wasted. It was
They were terrible.
yeah.
Yeah,
They-
why would they be in this? I mean, yeah, because that was you actually gave the highest score out of the three of us by giving the cast an 8. And I gave the cast a 7. So you
don't
and
even
I were
remember what I
close.
gave.
I think you gave it a 5.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you gave it a 5 for the cast. But yeah, I'm just gonna highlight that so I can keep track of all three of our scores. But
Dan Aykroyd was terrible in this.
yeah.
and
I mean,
you
he's
know,
not a good actor to begin with.
he's not a good actor to begin with, but he could have made a little bit of
Yeah.
Caveman was on for Something Rotten in My Collection. Yes. And if you guys haven't seen that, check out the replay on that. I keep seeing this movie pop up, but I don't.
Pass-
Yeah, no,
pass it by.
no.
Yeah,
No.
don't watch it.
I mean, you liked Elevator Games, so I don't.
That's right, he did. I forgot about
I
that.
don't want to give you crap about that. Maybe you'll like this. I don't know, but no, this was this. No, this.
This was
The
a
one
tragedy.
thing is, yeah, the cast is recognizable. Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. You got a couple guys from Kids in the Hall.
Yep.
Neil McDonough and shoot, what's the other guy's name?
I'm blanking on his name right now.
The guy in the beginning that is on the ladder and he scares you.
Yeah.
And he pulls his mask off. That guy. And the Kids in the Hall was kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen it, Rich. It was like an
I know the Kids
offshoot
in the Hall are.
Saturday Night Live or whatever.
Yeah,
They
but
really
bad.
like to dress. They really like to dress and drag, is what I remember. And they just had this raunchy, obscene comedy, and sometimes it was pretty funny. So bad SNL movie. So, like I like the monster. I like zombies too, but they did not. The zombies weren't right. They just
And they got Zombies by Light. What the hell?
yeah, zombies that they're soul sucking zombies, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so they had to come up with something that was more kid friendly. And I don't even want to say that they said this is PG-13. I would say this is PG.
I would agree with you, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think the
And it
only
wasn't even
thing.
language, really.
No, it wasn't even language. It was the two
Mm.
kids kissing and maybe some bullying. That would be the only thing that would make it PG. But yeah, there was nothing that would. And I think they said piss was the worst cuss word they said in the movie. Because for some reason the kid had to pee all the time.
Yeah.
That's what was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
And they were.
And
that was,
Well, I know there was, like you were saying, it was a very family oriented one where there was no gore, no biting, things like that. But I think they still could have made it work if the jokes were
done
funny.
something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you could tell where they were trying so hard to be like funny in some spots, and it just was not, for me anyway, it was not landing. I was rolling my eyes half the time because I was
exactly.
like, no.
I had to pull a Dave and stop this halfway through and do something else, and then
Yeah.
come back to it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I literally I put it on, I started watching it, and I'm like, maybe I could go wash the dishes, or so I went and washed the dishes. I kind of swept the floor and just I occupied myself, and then just kind of kept an eye on the movie, because really it did not hold my interest. It didn't.
Mm-mm.
It's one of the worst made movies
Yeah.
that I've seen this year. And then
It
on
ranks
top
right
of
up
that,
there with Kids versus Aliens.
yeah, it's got a script that was maybe written in crayon, and the dialogue in it is horrible.
Agreed. I saw somebody. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the funny thing was I saw somebody else's review, so I'm not gonna take credit for it, but they were saying that okay, really the kid's big scarring, traumatic event in his life was he saw a scary movie when he was a kid, kind of
Right.
thing. And it was like,
Yeah.
okay, he
And he was
accidentally saw a
walking
horror
up
movie.
behind the couch. and
Yeah,
I was like,
but that was his traumatic experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it just I don't know. I was like, well, maybe it's that generation. I don't know, but it's I think I gave a 5 to the music and a 5 to the cinematography. That one thing with the energy that shot up and the blast. that was the best thing in the movie.
I guess I
And
gave
that,
it a
but
4.
that they stole that from Ghostbusters.
They did.
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd's like, I'll be in this movie if you do this effect. But you know, and then you got Chevy Chase who's in the movie, and
Oh, he's
he's virtually non-existent. And what he does, and when he is in there, he's awful.
Yeah.
Everybody phoned this in.
But when has
But,
Chevy
you know-
Chase been great? When's the last time he was great?
Oh man. it's
Zoom. Zoom. That was the last time I liked him in Zoom. My favorite movie of his is Modern Problems, but yeah, that's like 80s. That's like
Yeah. That says a lot.
yeah, that says a lot. But yeah, it was disappointing. But yeah, no, this is just not Caddyshack. Caddyshack's a good one.
Yeah.
Caddyshack's a good one. I did see Modern Problems after that, but Caddyshack's a great movie. I can't say I especially like Chevy Chase's character in that movie, but
Right.
that's a great movie that has Chevy Chase in it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our highlights for wait, Corey, I got scared by going to the haunted house and a scary movie too young. Hence, no scary movies.
We
Sure,
won't laugh.
that's fine. I watched Jaws and The Exorcist when I was 6 years old, and I love scary movies. So and I'm a sick bastard now. So it doesn't,
You are.
I guess, yeah, the opposite effects, I don't know. But haunted houses just don't bother me. But I don't know, it wasn't so much what happened to him, it was the way he told the story that was like, okay, there's no emotion there. There was no emotion from anybody. I mean, the acting was just awful. In fact, you gave the acting a 1, Rich.
I did.
You gave the acting a 1, worst score ever. And I think Corey and I both gave it a 2.
Yep.
So
Not far off.
but other than that, yeah. So yeah, Corey, your highest score after the cast is the cinematography at a 4.
Yeah.
And Rich, you also gave the cinematography a 4. Rich, you and I both gave the music a 5. Because there was some decent music. It didn't really have any point to the movie, but there was some decent music in the movie that I liked. But at 4, yeah, see, 4. Yeah, I wouldn't go in a haunted house when I was 4. I don't even know if I'd remember anything from when I was 4, but I totally get it, Caveman. And I know you don't like horror movies, and it's fine. My kids don't like horror movies. My wife doesn't like horror movies. It's just me.
My kids don't either.
So I got to have my headphones on and watch it after everybody's asleep. That's how I watch my horror movies.
Same with me.
So let's go to our final scores on this turd and get it out the way so we can move on to bigger and better things. Oh, I do have some pictures from the movie. Stupid.
Yeah.
And stupid. So those yay, good job. So let's go to the final scores on Zombie Town. This is coming in last place, you guys. Not recommended. If you do want to see it, Rich, where can they find it?
Hulu. It's on Hulu. But don't see it. Go watch
Yeah,
Paint
it's on Hulu. Go watch your grass grow in the front yard, or
watch the leaves fall off your trees, because that's what it does in
clean up
Iowa
dog
here.
turds. That's probably going to be a lot more entertaining. Because that's what I felt like doing. I was like, man, I've got a new dog, so I'm just going to go out and clean the crap in the front yard while I wait for this movie to be over. And then the credits rolled, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. I was hoping for a power outage to just happen so that I wouldn't have to watch this movie anymore. But unfortunately, I had to sit through the whole thing. And let's close this out. Final scores on Zombie Town. IMDb is giving this a 4.1. I have no idea why, but Rotten Tomatoes critic score is a 60.
Wow.
Audience score is a 59, and I think very little reviews on this.
Oh, okay.
Rich and Corey, you gave this a 33, and I gave it a 37 for a total average score of 34. And just flush that one right down the toilet.
Mm-hmm. That's where you need that flush sound.
Yeah,
that's where I need that flush sound. And I have a on my podcast board I have a wah wah wah, and it but of course nothing worked today. So instead I will do Well, we'll do this. Shot it out into space. We'll do it again because that's on a loop. Or nobody liked this movie. My favorite. So we're gonna go to our number 5 movie this week. And I think, after this, the movies weren't horrible. They're just they weren't really well made. But the rest of these, I could actually say something positive. There were things that I liked about the rest of these movies. So what do you guys think is our number 5 movie this week? And Corey, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, mine was Dear David.
I'm going with Dear David too.
Yeah. Where's my sheet? There it is. Yes, our number 5 movie is.
Since you joined BuzzFeed, your art got super lame. And you die in a fire. Don't judge me. Sometimes you gotta troll the trolls.
And I wanted to bring that up for a very special troll that hit us a couple weeks ago. But yes, our number 5 movie, second to last place, is Dear David.
This wasn't terrible.
This wasn't terrible. There were things that I liked about it. And this was on digital, you guys, so you can get this on Hulu or Amazon Prime, but you have to pay for the rental. And this was one where I was like, Corey, I'm sorry you had to watch this one.
Yeah, it's like you have to pay for it.
But well, actually, I had some credits that I could use for it. So
he was like, I have some credits on Prime, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel as bad.
No,
you watch this one,
but it's like you said, all the rest of these, there's at least some positive things you could say about a lot of them.
No, you are not a troll, John. You are a goblin. You're my favorite goblin, my party goblin.
I like the way the ghost looked in this. The boy, I like the way.
I did like some of the subtle stuff, like in the chair and things like that. I did like some of that stuff. The whole BuzzFeed TMZ crap with the stuff. I don't know. I could have done without that. Now this is supposed to be based on a true story, where this guy, and I don't know if he worked for BuzzFeed or whatever, but he was tweeting about hauntings that were going on in this house.
Yeah.
So so there is kind of a based on a true story thing, and
I kind of wanted him to die. I mean, just
I did too. I kind of like, you're kind of a wimp, and just go away. So the IMDb synopsis on this is: a man is haunted by a ghost of a boy named David who is trying to kill him. That's really, really generic, and this movie is kind of generic. So basically there's this Dear David account that it kind of joins you or follows you on Twitter or whatever and starts saying stuff, and then when you troll back, then it starts messing with you. And it's like, there was the stupid like 3 questions thing.
That made no sense.
I was like, why does that have to be a factor? I don't know. It was like the story was all over the place. They were trying to find some kind of hook for this movie, and they couldn't decide, so they just kind of mixed a bunch of crap together.
See, I thought I missed something, so I had to rewind it. I was like, what did I miss?
No, you didn't miss anything. They just didn't talk about it.
Well, that's what I don't want to give anything away with the movie, but there was so much, not that we needed a whole backstory, but how did it go from, like, how did that happen? Like the with the boy, that whole thing. I don't want to say too much. I don't know how much we can say, but it's just like, well, how did that happen? Going from being bullied to now this or something.
Yeah. Alan says this movie sounds worse than Zombie Town.
No.
I mean, I didn't think it was worse than Zombie Town. I do think that it was poorly made, like Zombie Town. It didn't have a budget to it. It sounds like a very weird movie that's hard to follow. Yeah. it was just kind of like I was going, okay, I don't understand why
Yeah.
are we here? Why did this occur? I liked the scene in the beginning. So it does kind of give you a lead in, but then it just drops off the face of the earth and then picks up with this dude who's who's doing artwork for BuzzFeed online, and then is not supposed to say something at trolls, and then does, and then something happens. Yeah, I don't know. And then I also have to call out the ending. I was like,
Mhm.
why would you do that at the end? Because
Yeah,
there's
I like that.
I mean,
I
I
like
liked it, but I know there's not going to be a sequel to this. So
Right.
why leave that open? And why? I mean, and I kind of knew it was going to happen. It was just kind of predictable, but I was hoping for something different at the
Okay.
end. Give me something else. Give me
I liked
a
how
little.
they showed the text on the screen.
Mhm.
I liked the way they did that. It kind of reminded me of Missing,
Yep.
the first Missing, a lot.
And Corey, I'm going to switch you with me, so the picture only blocks me. But the yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't hate this movie. I thought there were some positives to take out of this, but ultimately the movie suffered because the quality of work wasn't there. For me, it was just the script. The script wasn't very good. The story didn't work for me. But I thought the acting was semi decent. I didn't recognize a lot of the cast, which is kind of good for a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
There wasn't enough scary. Give me,
Right.
there were, I like the subtle stuff, but it's supposed to build, and it never built. It was just kind of the same level, and then it jumps, and then it ended. And I was like, okay. So it was a little flat for me.
I
Yeah.
agree with most of that.
Yeah.
What I was going
What?
to say, I know you were talking about liking that intro of the movie at the beginning of it, and I did too. But there's that whole from that to jump into Supernatural. Like, how did that occur? Not that
Right.
we need the whole backstory, but there was nothing that
We
shows a
just needed a
trigger.
little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
To me, that bugged me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But-
I agree. Yeah, very monotone style. Yeah, it did feel very monotone. It was very one dimensional. It was just kind of but yeah, there was no explanation. And then I don't know, it kind of flips for me to where in the beginning it's like you're talking to David, and then you ask it 3 questions and it kills you, and then it switches to the guy is talking, and then David comes and seeks him out. And I was like, okay, I don't understand that. But I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't bad. I can't recommend it, but it wasn't horrible.
I do like the kill scene with not the main character, but the ghost. I did like that, where I don't know how to say it. When you see his head, I kind of thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I kind of I like that.
I thought it was very
mean,
it just repeated itself. It felt like.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was kind of going with one dimensional. It was kind of just showing the same thing. And then there was that one escalation with with the head, as Rich was talking about. I like that too. And then it was done. It's just kind of but just this is the public service announcement in this movie to basically don't be a troll.
Or just don't be a dick.
Right.
Don't be a dick on the internet.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he said that, I was like, dude, I hope you die. Just that's what you get.
Yeah.
I didn't like his character.
I don't know.
I agree.
Definitely not a recommend for me, but
No.
I didn't attempt to turn that one off as fast as Zombie Town. I'll say that for sure. So
Yeah.
I actually got through it all right. Even though I was like, okay, I think they're just missing some explanation here, and then it's like, okay, it's repeating itself, and then but Zombie Town, I was with you guys, or I was about ready to shut that off. But Dear David, I made it through fine. Just kind of left me flat after it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and our scores are actually pretty separate here. So I found that really interesting. So we're gonna go right to the highlights on this. So Corey, your biggest score is a 5 for the cinematography. Other than that, lots of 4s and 3s, and a 2 for the story. I totally agree with that. Now, I did give the story a 5 because there were some things that I did like. So Rich, your highest, you actually gave an 8 to the cinematography, and I gave a 7. But otherwise, we're like 4s, 5s, and 6s. So, it's score wise. I think this movie is better than Zombie Town, leaps and bounds, shooting a bullet and throwing it compared to Zombie Town. But still, this is not worth paying for.
No, not worth $6.
I do not recommend paying for this. I'm sorry we didn't wait until it was free to review this.
But we don't know. But that's the gamble we take.
That's the thing. We roll the dice. We're not just going, okay, we're only going to go by what we think is going to be good. We pick whatever's new, and if we can fit it in, we put it in, and we roll the dice. And this one we came up with a pair of 2s, and we ended up crapping out. But Snake Eyes for Zombie Town, and that was my fault. Evan just showed up. What's up, Evan?
What's up, Evan?
Rich confessed his love for Milli Vanilli. But he did that backstage. We're gonna talk about Milli
I did a
Vanilli
little routine for him too.
But yeah, he did a little dreadlocks, and he did a little girl, it's true, and he started shimmying from side to side.
Yeah, put a belly shirt on.
You might have had to go to the bathroom. I don't know, but you missed Zombie Town. They loved it. Oh, Highland, don't be putting words in my mouth, bro. You missed Zombie Town. That was the only one. And yeah, we all thought it was a piece of garbage. Speaking of close to being garbage, we're going to our final scores on Dear David, coming in 5th place. And again, not recommended, but it's definitely better than Zombie Town. Let's go to our final scores. IMDb is giving this a 3.9. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 11%, audience score 62%. Rich, you gave it a 61. I gave it a 59. Corey gave it a 35. Our total average score 47.5.
I think I was in a bad mood that night or something, man. Maybe.
It's okay.
I think you watch Zombie Town and then you watch this and you're like, man, I hate these guys. Made me watch these damn.
Actually, I think I might have had those pretty close together. So
yeah, I did.
So, well, that's what I was.
Dear David, I watched first, and I was like, that was okay. And then I watched Zombie Town. Yesterday, I watched Zombie Town yesterday, and I'm like, boy, I'm glad I waited for that. Actually, Fingernails was last, but I waited to watch Zombie Town because I saw both of your scores, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna procrastinate as long as I can before I watch that because I know that was my fault. All right.
I was just gonna say I was very interested to see how the scores were gonna roll out, and if you guys looked at all my scores and been like, well, we're never going to have him on here again, or something like that.
We're going to thank Corey for joining us.
Yeah, right.
No, see, Rich never sees the scores. I am the only one that sees the scores. Now, it does sound like you totaled the scores for yourself, Corey, so you kind of know what you scored the movies yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But Rich doesn't even do that. Rich just gives me his numbers. And I do all the math. And rub myself because that's what I do. And it's, it's kind of like my foreplay. So,
and I like to be surprised.
He likes to be surprised. I like to have him guess, and he likes to be surprised with the numbers. And then, but yeah, I'm the only one that sees all of our scores because I have to put everything together for the show. So, and it's kind of fun. Let's see. They can't be worse than mine, Corey. No, they can't be worse than yours, bro. So yeah, John is my co-host on Spirits with Spirits.
Yeah.
So we do
Such
the
a great
same type
guy.
of scoring system. Yeah, we do the same type of scoring system, only with haunted locations and
Scary
in this
shit.
season, cryptids.
Okay.
So we actually review haunted locations and investigations that have happened there, and look at, you know, picture evidence and EVPs and stuff like that, and then we score the place based on how haunted it is. And it's the same type of scoring system, only I've created 10 different categories based on what we want in a haunted location. So it's kind of fun, and we're the only real paranormal review site out there. So yeah, so I have him score, and you know, and then we turn around and we score everything kind of live. We pre-score everything before the show, and then when we come on the show, we actually turn around and score live, and we usually change our numbers by hearing both of our research. So yeah, no, he's given some pretty crappy scores, but so have I.
See, and I'm
Our
still new to this too. So some of it could just be the learning curve of kind of balancing out where my scores are at. But then I think definitely the mood you're in when you sit down and watch a movie can have a big effect on it. And I could have just been dragging that night and been like, meh, you know?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it turns into some good debates. Yeah, it sure does. I love it, especially when we're drinking, because that's usually what happens.
I love
on
watching
Friday.
Dave drink. It's funny.
Oh, I'm funny when I get drunk.
Mm.
Then you're all like, let me tell you
Why
something
are you
about you that you
telling-
don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But so we got 2 down, 4 to go. Which one do you think is at our number 4 spot? And Rich, I'm going to ask you this time first.
Okay, I was gonna let our guests go, but I am gonna go A Night to Hunt.
Night of the Hunted.
Yeah, Night of the Hunted.
I would say that too.
Yeah. You guys are on the mark this time. So yeah, our number 4 movie this week is
Hello?
I had fun with this.
It is Night of the Hunted. And I got to say, I liked this.
I did too.
I enjoyed this, bro. There is absolutely no substance here. This is
Right.
this is a glass of water. That's all this is.
Yeah.
There is no story. There's nothing going on, but there is intensity.
Mhm.
There was blood, there was suspense, there was action. I liked it. I
did
did.
too.
It's not scoring very high. Like, it's in 4th place, but I liked it. I was really surprised
You
by
can
it.
still enjoy a movie and it
Yeah,
not
you-
be.
Yeah.
a
You
high
can like a
score.
movie. You can like
Yeah.
a movie that's not good, and you can hate a movie that's great. I'm just gonna say there are movies out there that I was like, that was a great movie, and I'm like, dude, I hated that movie. I'm not.
Princess Bride.
That's you.
Mhm.
Groundhog Day,
Groundhog Day, yeah.
or Barbie.
Well, that's how
I was, but I was like, no. So yeah, let's say Fingernails, not quite. Yeah, you know what? I recommend this for you, bro.
Yeah.
I think you,
and it's not
I
long.
think you,
No.
it's not a long movie. It won't take too much out of your day. Yeah, like Elevator Game. Yeah.
There was a couple things that just threw me off with it. And like right off the bat, I didn't like her
Yeah.
right off the bat with
Yeah.
Yeah.
things that
not
were
really
going
that
on.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, you could kind of tell. I mean, it was, I don't know. There was something off with her right off the bat. I agree.
Well, she's cheating on her boyfriend. for
that was
one.
her husband.
Yeah, husband.
husband.
You're not quite
Yeah,
sure,
her
right?
husband. Yeah, her husband's like, oh, fertility clinic and blah blah blah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
usually
yeah,
you
it
don't
was
make it
weird.
like it.
And then the other
Yeah.
guy comes walking by as they're talking about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's
So right
the-
off the bat, I'm like,
Yeah.
So the synopsis is: a woman stops at a remote gas station in the middle of the night and becomes the target of a sociopathic sniper with a secret vendetta. And
What's up,
speaking of
Del?
secret vendettas,
Hey, Del.
there's Del. What's up, Del? That's good to see you, my friend. So yeah, and I think the whole secret vendetta thing, I don't know what the deal was with that. That I didn't approve of. I'm like, if you're gonna be and if you're gonna be oatmeal with this, then just be oatmeal. Don't try to
Mhm.
put any brown sugar and maple syrup in it and try to make it more interesting. Don't start giving me a story in the middle of the movie. I don't want it. If you're just, I wanted it to be woman goes in, dude's killing people with a sniper rifle, make that happen through the entire movie. Don't give me any, do they know each other? Is something secret going on? No, just death. That's what I want.
Mhm.
I would have made it a lot better movie. It was trying to be something that it wasn't.
A little
And
heavy.
I think that hurt. I think that hurt the movie.
The kill
and
shots were great though, man.
the kill shots were awesome.
Mhm.
I had to show that one through the arm because that was really cool. The way they showed it, how she just back like that. That was cool. But yeah, some of the stuff that sniper did, really, really great scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just finished my first bad movie swap featuring Mac and me and the FP. Is that I don't know why I'm thinking Fresh Prince, but I know that can't be right.
You had Will Smith on there. Did he slap you down?
So Dave wanted John Wick 4. No, I didn't want John Wick 4. There's, and I don't even want to say shooter, but there's one movie where, and I can't even remember the name of it, where this dude is just randomly picking people off. And that's all there is to it. And you're just trying to get out of there and get to where that person is, or just to get safe. And it's the story, it's a story of all these people. Like, some of them are trying to get out, some of them are trying to get to the dude to take out the sniper, because the sniper is just like, he's got like 300 bullets and he's just opening up on people. And I can't. FP is actually the name of the movie. Oh, I've never heard of it.
I mean,
I thought you knew the initials, so now I got to look that up. But yeah, Mac and Me. I think Mac and Me is cute, but yeah, there's a reason why it's got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. But no, I didn't want John Wick 4 because John Wick 4's at least got some kind of story to it. But I mean, if you're going to come in with no story, with just this random sniper shooting people, that's what I would have wanted to stay with. No
and
hints
that's more terrifying anyway.
that he actually knew her, or that there was a connection to the husband or something like that. And then, I'm glad I missed the bottom 3. I'm guessing fingernails for 3 because it was like pulling fingernails to watch. Oh yeah, we're gonna get there, caveman. And I, and then of course there's the fuel leak.
That I was going to bring that up.
That bugged me. And I was just like, because they were like, oh, we're out of gas, blah blah blah, and
Yeah,
he's
came out
like,
of nowhere. I mean, how did it happen?
he's like, no, I filled the tank, and then
I filled it last night.
I filled it last night, and they stop at the gas station, and then of course it's and then of course the gas, sees it and he turns on the car and it's empty again, and he's already filled the tank just now. So the leak had gotten worse. And it just, it's like they were trying to hint that there was some ulterior motive for the sniper. They didn't really need that. And then there was something with that little girl.
Yeah.
And the sniper. And I thought, okay, what is this? And they didn't touch on that. They just kind of ended it. I don't know. There's some holes in this. But I like the underlying premise. I like the action in it. I like the intensity of it.
I like it when she's in the store that she's getting shot at, When the boyfriend dies, I really like that.
Yeah, I
The way
liked
he's
I liked
taken
her
out.
reaction to that.
Yeah.
And then I did like some of that conversation on the walkie-talkie.
Mhm.
Sniper talks to her about stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, so I kind of see where that's going, and I like how she finally fought back. I like the things that she thought of; those were
Mhm.
really interesting. And then the way it ended, it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
It was a
I don't
weird
know.
ending.
That's
I don't know.
typical for a Shudder movie.
Yeah, it's typical for a Shudder movie. It's kind of like a hand job. It starts out looking like a good idea, and then it just leaves you
Mhm.
raw. Um,
It does.
and I apologize, Corey.
Sometimes
I do
it's
have
all
this
right.
set.
All right.
It is set for 18 and over. I just want you to know that that's the way it is. Sometimes that's going to happen. But that's what it felt like to me. I was just like, okay, I got a raw deal here with the end.
And there,
I don't know.
No,
What'd
it's like
you think stood up
go
for
ahead,
you,
sorry.
Corey? No, I was going to ask you what else stood out for you that.
Well, those are just some of the things that bothered me, and probably why I scored it kind of low was right off the bat. I'm not rooting for this lady because of
I agree.
what was
Yeah.
going on. That fuel leak, I was going to bring that up. I was like, okay, it's like somebody was setting them up to. So first of all, if you're going to do the fuel leak, like I probably started thinking about it too much or looking into it too much. But I'm like, how would they know when to do it? How big of a hole to be able to get to that gas station? But then the
Right.
guy fills it up, and then the time that they're there, the low fuel light goes off again. And I'm like, okay, if it happened that fast, because she hadn't been in the store for that long,
Yeah.
then how in the world? I don't know. And there was like so many things like that. And then there's so many things like you said, where all of a sudden it's like, okay, does this guy know her? Like he brought up some things about her, like she was surprised and was like, how did you know that? Like, I think the name of the company she worked at or something. I can't remember
Right.
exactly what it was.
Like, yeah,
And
he knew the name of the company, and
Yeah.
he knew.
Well,
he
see, I
knew
was wondering if he could see the stuff in
and
the
yeah.
car with the
Yeah.
scope.
I don't
That's
know.
where I went.
Wow, you're getting some rough hand jobs. Some lotion. Yeah, I know, bro.
It's that
I'm gonna get some.
California
It's that California air. I'm up in the hills. The air's thin up here where I'm at, so yeah, things dry out really fast.
air. You got that humidity here. We
And
got
then-
that.
Yeah, I don't have that humidity here. It was.
I was going to agree with
But-
the ending too. It ended weird, but then, like you said, it looked like okay. Was there something with him and the little kid,
Right?
But then, because he was like,
It was.
but
yeah,
then when
he
she
was-
came back into the picture, he pulled it on pretty quick at one spot when the
Yeah.
Mhm.
kind of. So it's like, would she have recognized him or not? Or sorry if maybe I'm saying too much, but
There's nothing really to spoil. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I was like weirded out by that, and I was like, at first, because I was like, did he recognize the kid?
yeah,
And
Oh.
because the little girl was with her grandparents, so I'm thinking, okay, there might be something there.
yeah.
Maybe that's the real reason why the sniper was there. But then why do the fuel leak and have that couple there at all?
Yeah.
And then that didn't make any sense. And was he like drawing all these people there? And I'm sorry, the dude that's card was declined, he should have shot him. Kill that
Yeah.
dude.
He was an
Because that
idiot.
dude was smoking way too much pot, and his card
Like
was
3 or 4
declined.
times.
He should have been declined.
Yeah.
Speaking
that-
of decline, what's up,
What's up,
Jay?
Jay?
Jay's in town.
How you doing, man?
You just missed the hand job comment, so you actually have great timing. But yeah, I mean, I liked this, but there were things that left me like, why? Give
Right.
me an answer to this or give me an answer to that. Don't just you left me hanging on everything with the story.
I would
You
have
know,
rather had.
Who was the sniper? What did he have? What was his deal? Or was it ultimately just a random thing? Who was the girl and why? And what's the deal with the little girl? Did she run down the street and get run over by a semi because she was on the wrong side of the road? I don't know. I just, it cut me off in too many spots.
See, I would rather have this dude been a crazy dude just very little talking, and
No
him
motive.
just take out, take out everyone, the kids, the grandparents, and then just have him. They show him walking down, the road himself instead of let him win.
Yeah. There's a couple things I want to say and like who I think it is and like reasons why, but I don't know if it'd be spoiling too much on the thing. So I'll hold off on that.
All right. Well, before we spoil anything, I want to say hey to Tiana, who's joined us.
Tiana.
And then just I hope everyone's behaving like good little boys and girls. Well, you can hope. Tiana said, look, it's Corey. We have a Corey sighting, lack of backstory at the beginning. Yeah. But I would have either give me backstory or don't give me anything. Just lead me in and kill everybody.
Yeah, that's what I would rather have.
Because that freaked me out more if like when he's talking to her, be like, why are you doing this to me? And it was just like you walked in the store, you know, it's kind of like the strangers, you know, if you're seeing that where it's just you were the one that walked in the store when I was here, you know.
Yeah. I think that would have been that was the best. That was the thing that scared me the most about the strangers was that last line of the movie when they ask, why are you doing this? It's just because you were home.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit. So, you know, that would have made a scarier movie if there was just no motive. And it's like, why are you doing this to me? It's like, because I can, or just, you know, whatever he says. But I don't mind the banter back and forth about, you know, I'm a bad person. You're a bad person. We both suck. But ultimately it was just, no, you're just in my crosshairs. So
yeah.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
I
honestly would have scored this higher if that whole beginning part with her. I don't mean to keep on going back to it, but if that part wasn't in there, I probably would have been rooting for her more.
Dude, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I liked her more,
right from the beginning.
I was like, I immediately started watching the movie. Like she gets out of the hotel bed to talk to her husband and she's with a dude. And right away I'm like, bitch. And you know, and then she cuts the husband off when they're talking about I was like, okay, I already don't like her, but and for her to be the final girl, I totally get that. So yeah, I wasn't rooting for her right off the bat, but once everything started to happen, then my view toward her and the sniper changed over the course of the movie, to where I was questioning whether the sniper was a bad guy or not.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure is he a sociopath? I don't know. And you know, why was he killing everybody off with like 1 or 2 shots when he couldn't do that to her? So was he leaving her? Was he just torturing her? I don't know. There was a lot of unanswered questions with this, and I want closure at the end. I didn't get that. Don't even know if the little girl actually survived. I don't know. Caveman has an off-topic question. Was Jurgen's name created by a great marketing team or just a happy circumstance? It was actually the last name of the person that not that I would know that, but the guy's name is Jurgen. Caveman saying hey, Sienna. Okay, so let's go to our highlights on Night of the Hunted. I didn't do the pictures. Let me go back really quick. So yeah, I've just a couple of shots. When you start to see what's going on there. I did like that with the umbrellas.
I did like through that, like you said that before, some of her figuring out some puzzles, you know, like problem solving with equipment and things that are in the store there. I can give that some points.
Yeah. Caveman with the best question ever. Yeah, good job, Caveman. I'm a little embarrassed that I was able to answer that question really fast. But anyway, highlights on Night of the Hunted. Let's see. Yeah, you're again with the 5s or your highest scores, Corey, and that's with cinematography. Yeah, you were figuring what? Or
I'm going to be the low one on out of us again.
Yeah, you're the low one on this round. But so cinematography, direction, and music, you gave 5s for, otherwise 4s and 3s. Rich, you actually have 8s for story, cinematography, and wild card. I have an 8 for the plot because I really like the trailer for this. And then I gave an 8 to the wild card, and then otherwise 7s, 6s, and 5s. And then I'm at a 2 for the cast. Rich, you were at a 1, and Corey, you were at a 3. I only recognized the female lead. I didn't recognize anybody else in the movie. So interesting. Oh, and John Doe
What's
Juggalo
up?
John Doe.
is in the house. What is up, Jeff? It's the sniper movie called Downrange. Okay, that's the one. That was great. And that, I think that's also a Shudder movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it really? So it's
I
fairly
think it's
new.
called. It's 2 years old, I think.
Oh.
It's 2 years old.
The one I was trying to think of when you were talking about that, it's an older one, but have you ever seen Targets?
Mm-mm.
It's
No,
on Criterion. It's an older. It's
Okay.
It's same type of deal. Like just randomly decide
Just
to.
randomly like popping people off. Yeah. 2017. Okay, so it's even older than I thought. I bought the DVD a couple of years ago, and that's when I saw it. But it's really good, and I think it's Shudder. I'm pretty sure. Or I bought it when I was buying the Shudder movies, and I have it with it. But yeah, and yes, it's a Shudder movie. Thank you, bro. But yeah, it's called Downrange, and yeah, no plot, no storyline to it at all. Just blam, random dudes getting shot, and the gore is fantastic. It's intense. It's scary because you have no idea why he's doing it, and there's never an answer. But it doesn't try to lead you on the primrose path to something else.
Right.
So yeah, I think I gave that one like a 65 or 68 or something like that. But let's go to our final score. Yeah, it's better because it doesn't try to be more complicated. But yeah, let's go to our final scores on Night of the Hunted. This is taking 4th place. IMDb is giving this a 5.3. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 50. Audience score 43. Rich, you gave it a 63. I gave it a 62. And Corey gave it a 40 for a total average score of 51.25.
Well, that's still a good score.
That's not bad.
We'll see if I get more back in line with you guys with these next few movies.
Yeah. There's even one movie, Corey, where you have the highest score out of the 3 of us.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's get into our number 3 movie. And but yeah, it seemed like for the most part, my score ends up almost right in between you guys. Let's see. Corey, you're starting to make me feel better about my score.
John and I are together on the scores.
Yeah. Or Alex's scores. He was like, he didn't give me his scores, and then he just came on. He's like, that's 25. Or no, he gave 1 a 10. He says, no, I'll give it a 13. He was just like, so I was like, okay, but we gave him like really crappy movies.
It was just a bad week.
It was a bad week. There wasn't really any good ones. I think there was one that was okay, but yeah, there wasn't any good ones. All right. So what do you guys think is number 3? And I think it's probably pretty obvious, but Corey, what do you think is number 3?
I'd have to go with Fingernails.
Me too.
Rich, you agree? Yeah. Our number 3 movie is...
I founded this institute to take the risk out of love. No more uncertainty, no more wondering if you've chosen the right partner, no more divorce. We were the first to build the machines to conduct a test to make the bond of love stronger.
I did not like this movie.
I liked this movie, man. I liked it. Oh, I'm trying to look at my scores here.
Yeah.
That's what I was just looking
So yeah, our number 3 movie is Fingernails. This is on Apple TV Plus, you guys. And I think this one, it's well made, and I think Apple TV Plus does a really good job making
It
movies.
does. They do.
The acting is really good here. The 2 leads, especially.
I love that
I
one,
think
dude. He's fantastic.
I think you mean Amir?
Yeah.
I think Amir is great. Riz Ahmed is his name, and he actually won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Um,
For Sound of Metal, wasn't it?
Sound of Metal,
Yeah,
yes,
he's
which
really
I
good
haven't
at that.
seen,
Oh, that's
unfortunately, but
awesome.
he was also nominated for something that I have seen. But I recognized him, and then I recognized the girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know her name, but she was from Women Talking, which was a fantastic movie.
And she was in that one movie that had the open vagina thing, like that kept going and going. Men, wasn't she in Men?
You mean the open asshole thing with the
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the
she
with
was
the
in
giving
that.
birth to more assholes? Yeah, that was that was
That scarred me.
I think that was her. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she
believe it
in that.
was.
yeah. So
Yeah, you made me watch that.
I did
liked
make you
it,
watch.
but I
Alan
like
does-
love stories.
looks interesting. Yeah, he likes more of the romance. I'm not really a romance person. I refuse to ever watch this movie, not even if my wife asked me to watch this. Just like Barbie,
It
we
doesn't
didn't
make
need
sense.
we didn't need a Farmers Only movie. So yeah, this movie is brought to you by eHarmony.
Mhm.
This one, Rich and I started to watch the same thing at the same time. It was
Yeah.
crazy. Fingernails was okay. It didn't go far enough. The character development, it was confused, as what I wanted to say. Yeah, I get that. I was confused as well. I'm like, I mean, I'm just gonna say, and I got to do the synopsis because for those of you that don't know anything about this movie, Jessie Buckley, that's her name, the female lead. It says Anna and Ryan have found true love, and it's proven by a controversial new technology. There's just one problem, as Anna still isn't sure. Then she takes a position at a love testing institute and meets Amir. And then
So
reads
spicy.
on.
Hey,
What's up,
Reed.
Spicy? Hey, it's Corey. What up, dude? Nice to see you. Sup, Dave and Rich. Great. So yeah, it's good to see you on By the Numbers. And then hey to Dave and Rich, because I was confused why it made pop. Okay. But you should watch for cinematography alone, though, if you study films. I think it was filmed really well.
Yeah.
Like I said, production-wise, this is good. I did not like the subject matter. I did not like the story. I absolutely hated the love exercises. Ridiculous.
I thought they were
Stupid
funny.
I was insulted. I'm gonna jump out of a fucking airplane. I'm sorry. I'm gonna use French here. I'm gonna jump out of a fucking airplane to show you how much I love you.
But
I'm
see,
gonna drown myself in the pool just to no. I'm gonna rip off my no.
see, I took it as the fingernails thing was just a scam to get money. I didn't take it as it was a legit science. I took it was just like any other,
I think it was some sort of DNA thing, right? Because they put it in a machine and they do a number.
it looks
It's
like a
not
microwave. It looks like they put it in a
it
toaster
does.
oven.
It looks like a replicator from the old Star Trek series, is what it reminded me of.
They just reminded me of a toaster oven.
Yeah.
So that's why it made me feel like it was just a scam for them to get money.
Yeah. Everybody's saying, hey, yeah, Barbie scored good too. We gave Barbie a 67. I mean,
Mhm.
because it was well made. It was just something that we didn't really care for. And this was the same thing. I think it's a good movie. One of the things that I have grown to hate is movies when there's infidelity.
Right.
Because I've been married almost 30 years, and I'm sorry. If you have attraction to someone else, just get a divorce. Just go. Just go be with someone. But don't be married to someone and then have an affair with someone else. That really turned me off, and that killed my ending for me. That soured the grapes when there was that, her feelings. I understand that she's like, oh, I'm feeling complacent or whatever, and I need more. I'm okay, fine. but communicate with your husband. That's the way this works.
Were they married though?
I think they were like
I don't
living
think they were-
together, like boyfriend, girlfriend, I think. But either
They
way,
did-
Yeah,
when
right,
they did
either
the
way, but
compatibility thing, and it was like they were positive, so they've been together for 3 years, but it never really said married.
yeah.
mhm.
It never really said married. Um,
No, I'm with you on that as well. And
they
that's
went to
why
Vietnam torture techniques. Yeah,
They
they
did.
rip your fingernail off. Are you in love? Tell me, is it worth
Mhm.
it?
And then that dude,
you know,
he's like, I'm not doing this. He's, I love you,
Yeah.
but no.
instead of putting a ring on it, rip my fingernail out. Yeah. For real, Dave. Thanks, Jeff. But yeah, I mean that's just don't
yeah,
don't do
the ending killed
They-
it for me.
the ending killed it for me. That really bugged me, and it made me like, especially what she did at the end.
hmm
Her actions at the end made me really rethink how Amir should feel toward her.
Mhm.
Um, so really weird. What I took from that is how outside sources affect how we view the
Mhm.
relationship, like social media or a book you read. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I agree with that statement, Evan. And it's just I think this was it just seemed like we have this technology to tell you whether you guys are in love with each other or not. And we can, if it's 50%, we can't even tell you which one loves which.
Yeah. That's what
And-
another thing that made me think it was a scam. It was like,
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense. And why is it, why is it 100%? Why is it out of 100 when your only choices are 0, 50, or 100?
yeah.
Because you can't. There's no such thing as 25. Maybe
And what they
33 if you're in a threesome relationship, but maybe there's a 33%. But
But why couldn't they
um,
just take your hair? Because it's got DNA in it.
why? Yeah, why the fingernail? And I don't understand that part of the concept.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know if-
I'm like,
I don't know if it
I'm
was
okay
just to
for-
make it painful enough that not everybody would just be okay, well, go do it. You had to put some thought into that. It's like, okay, do I want to get my fingernail ripped out, to be able to prove this to you?
I agree about the infidelity part. Reason why I didn't care for the one movie last week.
What movie was it last week?
What was the one that we had with
I don't even remember. I'm drawing a blank. Remind
it's
us,
not
Katie.
straight because they were just having sex with the couch, right?
Yeah. And in a troll or in like a yard gnome.
And the yard gnome. It wasn't Desperation Road. I don't
No.
remember there being
I don't remember it either. Remind us, caveman.
yeah, which movie are you talking about? And was it last week or the week before? It wasn't Awareness. I'm not sure, but I know there was one that we watched recently, and I want to say
Hey, Chris.
hello to
What's up, Chris?
The slasher dude is in the house. Yeah, maybe it was the week before. Yeah, I think it was recently though, like the last few weeks. There was one where there was infidelity, and I don't think they went through it, or
I don't remember.
maybe Fair Play, because I had that feeling about Fair Play was there was going to be
But there was no
infidelity.
infidelity in that.
There wasn't. It never happened.
It was only in his head.
But the husband thought there was, or the
Mhm.
fiance thought there was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, but unfortunately, all the pictures I could find were like her with some dude. So I did her with both dudes, which is exactly what she wanted.
The
to
movie
do.
was.
It's what the movie was.
I didn't like
but-
Luke Wilson in this either.
Luke Wilson was window dressing. He was a curtain
Mhm.
in the back. I was like, oh hey, Luke Wilson. I'm like, but he didn't do anything. I mean, yeah, he ran the institute, but he really didn't do anything in the movie. Um,
The boyfriend that she lived with, I recognized him from The Bear. I don't know if
It's
you've seen.
Shameless.
Okay, in Shameless. I thought
I-
he didn't do much in this movie, but I like him in
Yeah.
the other shows. I don't know. It
He
just
felt
seemed like
very weak.
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it. He just felt like a very weak person.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Shameless or The Bear, so I didn't recognize him. But I went and looked him up, and I saw that he was in those things, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, he was just kind of, I mean, like like the husband who was just kind of come home from work. I want to watch a documentary, and I don't want to do anything you want to do. You're going to do everything I want to do. And just I know that yes, the relationship didn't feel right to me between Ryan and Anna. That was the main girl,
Right.
but that doesn't mean you go run into a mirror. I'm just
Right.
Communicate, figure it out, get it to work. But okay, I understand for the storyline. Those were straying thoughts, but didn't actually stray. They were stockbrokers. Yeah, that was the fair play.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember which one it was, Caveman. Just let us
Put
know.
the comments.
Yeah, that was the one. I was thinking there was going to be infidelity with fair play, but there wasn't. And I actually liked that about that movie. This one doesn't do that. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna call out something that I don't like about it, and I know it may spoil it, and I apologize. But there's infidelity in this movie, and I don't care for that. They never make up in thrillers. I know. It's always somebody with a knife. But like I said, if you guys want to see this it's on Apple TV Plus, and I do think it's worth a watch.
I do too.
Yeah.
If you're looking for quality of film, I think this is worth a watch.
And most movies
But-
are on Apple TV.
Yeah, I haven't really been disappointed with Apple TV. I mean, there have been some where I've expected more out of it and didn't get it. Like with Sharper, for example, which I really wanted that one to be better with the cast, but it didn't. Yeah, I agree with that. Or liked, I don't know, like they were just there. It was just I don't know, convenience or something. But yeah, there wasn't enough. Why the fingernail? And I agree with you, Corey. Maybe if there's some ulterior motive. Why? Is it like, hey, are you willing to give up a fingernail just to get tested to see if you're in love with this person?
Yeah.
And why not a lock of hair or just take blood or whatever? Why does it have to be ripping a fingernail off without any anesthetic?
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't sound like my type of movie, though. I've really been interested in anything on Apple TV. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But there have been some good ones this year that we watched on Apple TV.
Yeah.
This was the last
Yeah.
movie I watched out of the bunch because I think I was kind of holding that off to the end.
Fingernails,
Me too.
Dale. We're talking about fingernails.
Yeah, this was we're on fingernails, which is that one. But let's go to our highlights on fingernails. Let's go and find it in my notebook. Okay. So yeah, Corey, some definitely better numbers here from you. We got a 7 for the cast, and then we got 6s for acting, cinematography, direction, and music. Rich, we have a 9 for cast with this one, and 8s for acting, story, 7s for script, direction, music, and wild card. And then for me, I have 8s for acting, story, and script, and direction, and then 7s for music and wild card. But this is not something I will watch again. And I did not care for it, but I felt the quality of the movie is there, and I think it's worth seeing. I felt in some ways maybe it was too smart for me to get to. Yeah. I think it was trying to be too smart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was.
I see that.
Especially with the and I'm going to cuss in Filipino because it's the only way I can describe it. It's the Utakana exercises that they have, which is Tagalog for motherfucker. But the exercise is just, I rolled my eyes. I was like, this is dumb. It was like, okay, yeah, we're going to, I love the one was like, is this from a movie? This seems familiar. And he's like, yeah, it's from Jaws. I did like that.
Yeah.
but it's like, okay, we're going to have you stare at each other or, do this and that. And then, of course, they talked about how most of the people that get tested after going through all that and getting their fingernails ripped out and everything, it tests as 0. And then they don't even end up together. It's not like it's, it has to be 100% for you to stay together. You can still be together.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, this eHarmony bullshit doesn't find you compatible. I really don't know if those Match.coms or eHarmony things, if they tested my wife and I before we got married, if we would have been compatible. And we've been together forever. So I don't trust those things, and I don't think you guys should either. Just go with your intuition and just communicate with your significant other. Don't keep stuff in.
That's the big thing. It's like talk, and that's where I was like almost yelling at the screen a couple times where you could tell she was like getting her feelings hurt. And I'm like, just talk to him or something. Or him talk to her, if something's wrong with him. But
yeah. I mean, he did. He was kind of abrasive about it, like at the pottery thing. And he was just like, I don't like this. It's messy.
Yeah.
It was, and she was like, oh, okay. But yeah, just, communication is the name of the game. Communication and compromise. Those are the two main factors that you deal with when you're in a relationship. One thing I always say, and it's kind of cheesy, and it's one of those things where when you're living your life, you live every day like you think it's your last. But when you're in a marriage or in a relationship, live every day like it's your first. So don't let yourself get complacent. Don't let yourself get bored. Keep communicating, keep talking, keep doing stuff, and be in a relationship for a long time. Or you'll know you're not compatible, and you go, you know what? Let's just be amicable and just break up because we definitely weren't meant to be together. Sometimes it's not meant to be. And if you don't talk about it, you're going to be stuck together for years, and it's going to hurt. It's just going to be miserable. Yeah. Love the main guy as an actor. He got his start in Shameless. Yeah. We were talking about that. I've never seen that. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that, bro. I'm done with my soapbox. Let's go to our final scores on Fingernails, coming in 3rd place this week. IMDb is giving this a 5.9. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 63%. Audience score 46%. Rich, you gave it a 69. I gave it a 65, and Corey gave it a 50 for a total average score of 58.5. All right, we have 2 more. I think that's right. Yeah, so we've done 4. We've got 2 more. Corey? What do you think is number 2?
Out of mine, it would be Milli Vanilli.
Rich, what do you think is number 2?
Out of mine, it's going to be The Killer.
All right. John says, I left and came back, and you were still on Fingernails. Yeah, we've got 10 of them, so we're just gonna rip them all off. But we're done. We're getting ready to do the one. Anyone else getting any reverb? Yes, I'm getting reverb from all 3 of us, and I think it's StreamYard that's doing it. So I apologize, but I'm not going to be able to avoid it. Even with my taking away the echoes and
Monday
background
night,
noise.
they had a little blurb on my screen. It says if you're using anything with Android or Samsung, I don't remember what it was, that there was.
Yeah,
Echoing.
Android was in some kind of echo issue,
Yeah.
and Instagram had the same problem.
Okay.
I'm divided on the final two. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So coming in, and since you guys both have different answers, that means one of you is wrong. So finally, we have somebody that's going to be wrong because you guys have been right all night. So coming in at number 2 this week is.
If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a
Surprise me.
That's right. So number 2 this week is The Killer. This is on Netflix, you guys. And Del forgot to say congrats to Rich on being a grandpa.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate
And me
that.
for not being one yet. Really, I like this movie. This is
I
good.
like Killer too. I like Killer too.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
thank you.
Congratulations on being a poo-paw. Poo-paw. So, dude, I like this.
I did too.
I did too.
This is David Fincher, and I would not consider this one of his better movies, but I really liked how it was made.
I liked it. I thought the ending fell a little flat.
Yeah.
Thanks. I just like,
Yeah.
really? This is how you were going to do this? The whole journey, and we're just going to end it right here.
Yeah, we're just gonna go. Okay.
That's my only really gripe with it.
I thought it was beautifully shot though.
Mhm.
And I don't know how he went about some of his kills and things like that. It was interesting to watch, and I can see where it might be a little slower moving for some people, because especially at the
okay.
beginning. But it was kind of cool because it didn't like take a big action take on a hitman life. It was kind of more realistic, some of like that, the monotony, the boredom, the waiting and stuff like that. But
I like how they showed that.
Mhm.
Me too, Del.
Yeah.
When he's sitting there doing
Del feels
exercises, going to get McDonald's, and that's the part I liked.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like, where else can I pay $1 and get 10 grams of protein?
yeah,
and not, because that's what he's looking for. I want a protein bar. I don't care about it tasting good or being healthy. I want calories and I need the protein. But I really enjoyed it. I agree that the ending was flat. It just kind of okay. That's the way we're gonna. But I didn't care for how it started, and more importantly, I mean, it's very dialogue intensive because he narrates through the whole thing.
You have
And
to
a
pay
lot of
attention.
it I liked, but what I didn't like, and I hate to spoil this, but he basically fucks up his first job that you see.
He does. Yeah.
And I really would have rather that whole narration scene where he's talking about how it's patience and how he's waiting for stuff and doing this blah blah blah, and when he's going through all the steps that he has to do before he actually gets to kill somebody, I think he could have been doing that, actually killing other targets,
Yeah.
so you could see how good he is. He was talking about what he likes to do, especially he likes to poison someone or do things like that. And I think he should have done that instead of all of this leading up to this one job, and then he messes it up. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel he's a credible hitman because he's messed up the first time I see him. It's like when you have this, this prospect, and I'm going to use a baseball reference for Rich. Yeah, this prospect pitcher that's coming in that you're getting ready to draft, and the first pitch he throws when you're trying him out goes over the catcher's head, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, this guy's gonna suck. I'm not gonna hire him. But yeah, another narration movie similar to Desperation Road. I agree with that. Beautiful cinematography. I agree with that. I think David Fincher was all over this with that part. Would have been better if the first kill was successful than a screw up. Hey man, you read my mind. I don't mind this one, this job being a screw up, because that's what kind of led to everything happening. but that he did like a couple of jobs beforehand, and it could have been quick, like, you know, shoot this guy and then poison this dude and then maybe like stick this dude with a needle, or, you know, put something in this guy's coffee or whatever. Just do a couple of things. So I'm like, wow, this guy's good. Like, you know, I hate to use a John Cusack example because Rich hates John Cusack,
I do.
but Gross Point Blank,
Yeah.
where you actually see him, you know, kill people, and he's good at it, and then he messes up, and you're like, okay, so he's good, but then something happens, and it's just, oh, freak accident, blah blah blah. But
I could see that.
I slowly gained confidence in him as the movie went along
Yeah.
because of what he was doing to recover from that, and what happened to him, and also what happened to his friend.
There's
the Dominican
little
Republic.
things in the detail of him cleaning up stuff. He's always wiping the sinks. I liked how he never stopped doing that.
I've disliked all Fincher and Netflix movies. Fincher TV shows was good. Okay. I mean, I love Seven. Seven's my favorite, and so that's why I was comparing this to that, and it doesn't stack up as far as direction goes. But I do
This was
like
long.
it's longer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be that long.
Yeah, that intro, the whole narration leading up, they could have probably shortened that up a bit.
They could have shortened that. I did like it. It was interesting, but I think they could have given me more action instead of him just doing yoga. And
I paused it a couple times to see, okay, how much time's left?
yeah, and it's just about 2 hours. It's 1 hour 58 minutes. It does feel like a little bit longer than that.
It does.
But the synopsis is: after a fatal near miss, an assassin battles his employees and himself on an international manhunt he insists isn't personal. But yeah, you know it's personal. Seven wasn't done with Netflix. Oh, so you're talking Fincher and Netflix together. I get it. I was like, I thought you were talking about Fincher and Netflix as separate entities. But when they're together, I get it.
How many Fincher movies are on Netflix? I thought this was his first one.
I'm trying to remember. I think there's others, but I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
So what else did you like about it, Corey?
Well, like I said, I thought it was shot really well. I know it drug on in spots like we were talking about, and then I liked a lot of the kill scenes or the fight scenes. They had a lot of, I thought, some good, choreographed fight scenes. There was one that stood out to me where, I don't know, it was kind of brutal, but there was the big Florida dude.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give it away, but that whole interaction, and there's a fire poker that comes into play, and there's a couple parts of that where I was like, oh, ooh, that would hurt.
Yeah. That made me clinch.
Yep. But,
yeah, I liked it, and I liked Tilda Swinton in this movie. She didn't have much of a role, but that one scene where it's just the two of them in the restaurant and they're talking to each other, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really Tilda talking, and he was just kind of looking at her, but yeah, it was good. What is okay? So typing while doing the dishes. Okay, no problem, Evan. We don't want to distribute short.
Yeah, I agree. Though it could have been shorter.
Definitely, it could have been shorter. Yeah, I think it could have been shorter. Fincher needs to live Netflix deal is better with other studios. Okay, I don't think Netflix doesn't say no to him. Yeah. Wasn't Mank a Netflix movie? I haven't heard of that. Citizen Kane one wasn't that Fincher. Mindhunter season 1 I liked quite a bit.
Mindhunter was awesome.
I liked Mindhunters.
Really good.
And I dug the movie that was based on too. I really liked that. Those power shots he's throwing. Yeah. Bank, that's it. Hated it. Loved Mindhunters. I've never heard of Mank. I haven't seen that. So
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Maybe I watched it. I don't remember.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's some things I would have changed here to, maybe either make it move faster or give me more backstory to show how good he is. I wouldn't have minded this being 210 or 215 with a little bit more of him killing people in the beginning before getting to this whole mess.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't have minded if we cut it down to 145 or 140 and maybe cut a lot of that whole beginning crap out and maybe had him narrate bits and pieces of that over the course of the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that could have been cool. Mank is a movie Fincher did before this about the guy who wrote Citizen Kane. Stars Gary Oldman. Oh, okay. I saw Gary Oldman's face in IMDb when I was looking up this movie, so that makes sense.
I don't think I watched that.
Yeah, there was no reason to care for the woman. Yeah, I agree with that because there was nothing there with her. It was like you had no idea that she existed until she existed, and then and then you just got to go for how he felt about it and not how you felt for the person. And I didn't mind that so much. I thought that was okay because it let me go, oh hey, he is human.
Yeah.
He does have someone that he likes. Because you think that he's just a sociopath, that he has no qualms about anything, no emotion, just kills. Because he said the thing that I excel at is I don't give a fuck. It's what he said. I don't care. But it turns out he does care, and I think that led some humanality to him that made me kind of root for Michael Fassbender as the movie went along. So I did like that. Cal's in the house. What's up?
Hey, Cal.
Dave and Rich got Corey volunteered for this. We didn't have to sucker him in or knuckle him down or anything. he wanted this.
I brought it on myself.
And Movie Hunter's in the house. What's up, Movie Hunter? Just smash that like button. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I did like his lack of emotion. Yeah. And I think, if you're in that kind of work, I think you
would have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't. That's got to roll off your back. It can't be something. Because I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then it was like, there's no way you could handle an animal dying on you, and I'm like, yeah, I know. So I work on computers instead. I don't have any emotions for that. That's if a computer dies, I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna have to install a new one. But yeah, I think this is a good number two.
I do too.
This was probably, I think this is one that I would revisit. I would watch this again.
Maybe not for a while. I wouldn't jump right back. I would wait a year or two.
All six on the list, this would be the one I would watch again first.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Night of the Hunted. because that was in some enjoyable action. But
and I'm not upset because my top ones on my list were very close, and I enjoyed both of them very much. So, not upset at all.
Love a good number two. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a good number two, bro. Nothing wrong with a good number two.
So, what are some of the highlights?
Let's go to our highlights on this. You read my mind, brother. So, what do we have? We actually have some 10s here. So, Corey, you and I actually gave a 10 to the plot. We both liked the trailer. And yeah, I watched the trailer and I'm like, dude, I will watch this movie for sure.
Yep.
And Rich, you gave the plot an 8, so definitely good stuff. So Corey, you also gave 8s to the cast, acting, story, cinematography, music, and wild card. Rich, you gave 8s to, of course, acting, plot, story, script, and wild card. In addition to my 10, I gave a 9 to the music, and I gave 8s to the script and the wild card, and then 7s to everything else. Because I thought it was a good movie, just right across the board. Okay. I would put this below Fingernails. Okay. I would have flushed Fingernails if I had a chance. Still hard to believe Vanilla scored better. You know, nothing's wrong with a good Vanilla. Better than a running number 2. Yes. Nobody wants a running number 2. You want a good solid number 2. One with lots of fiber. That, you know, takes some work. And everybody loves that. All right, let's go to our final scores on The Killer. This is coming in at number 2, you guys, and number 1 in Corey's heart. So IMDb is giving this a 7.0. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 86%. Audience score 62%. Rich, you gave it a 70. I gave it a 77. Corey gave it a 79. Total average score 76.25.
I brought it in closer again to you guys. Came back around.
I said this was the one where you had the higher score.
Yeah.
Than the 3 of them. And again, I'm right there in between you guys. The meat and the sandwich. Solid 2. All right. So number 1, I think it's obvious now. Now some of you guys, it looks like some of you guys are complaining about it, but I do want to say, as far as documentaries go, this was pretty good.
It was,
and this is worth seeing. But because I've done clips for all the rest of these, our number 1 movie is
1 minute Milli Vanilli were there.
Milli Vanilli.
And the next minute they weren't.
And the next minute they weren't. Milli Vanilli, and that is not Milli Vanilli. Night of the Hunted. Milli Vanilli takes our number 1 spot. You guys, this is on Paramount Plus, and I see what you did there, Chris. It wasn't a bad documentary, especially since I lived through it. See, this is the thing. I lived through this too.
Me too.
I've actually talked to these guys. I've actually met these guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So 1992, I was basically I was working at a hotel in Stockton, California, and they performed at the county fair. And basically, they stayed in the hotel because we were the hotel that worked for the fairgrounds, did all the concerts and everything. I drove them there. They had me stay for the concert. I drove them back. I talked to them the whole way and got to talk to these guys. Really nice guys. But this was after the shit hit the fan and these guys had tanked, right? So I could tell these guys were both on drugs. And they were having some serious problems. Of course, they sang all their songs. They were booed, shit thrown at them. They were throwing bottles and stuff at them while they were trying to perform. And it was really sad. I was like, man, I'm sorry that you guys had to deal with that. But they had already signed the contract to do these things before they lost their Grammys and before everything happened. So they were still contractually obligated to perform, even though they were already like south of the border as far as their credibility goes. So this was, and I used to be really big fans of these guys.
That doesn't surprise me.
I wouldn't figure that would surprise you. And it was funny because I was talking to my wife about it, and she watched the documentary with me, and she's like, and I'm sitting there word for word singing the songs, right up through the end credits. And she's like, "You really were fans of these guys?" I said, "Yeah, I like these guys," and I felt bad for them. I knew that they weren't singing. I knew it because you can tell they can't speak English, but they can sing in English. Something's wrong.
Well, Ozzy Osbourne's the same way. He can't speak, period.
He can't talk at all.
Yeah.
but
he can sing just fine.
Yeah, no, I found this really interesting to go back and watch. Like you said, living through that, seeing that, because around that time, there's no way you didn't know a few of those songs because they played them on the radio all the time and they were huge. And then the backlash was ridiculous that came after that. And I don't know, I was interested to, as soon as I saw the trailer for that, I was like, I was interested to watch this to see what more behind the scenes stuff that you could learn from the documentary of what was going on.
And I honestly think they were taken advantage of. That dude was a fucking jackass. They act like this wasn't the first time doing it. He did it
right
with that 70s band.
He did it to that Boney X or whatever they were. He did it to them too, and he did it to the people that replaced Milli Vanilli afterwards. When he did the second album. He did the same thing. Girl, you know it's true. Yeah, totally. There's all right, brother. Thanks a lot. He's taking off. Wife is home.
See you.
All right. Love you, man. We'll see you on Friday.
Night, man.
At least spoke about him more than Sly did about his own son. Yeah, that's true. A lot of singers can't speak English but can sing it. Watch foreign talent shows like Jeopardy. Okay, no, I get that, but it was when they're interviewing them and they're, hey, perform live, talk to us now, sing, and then they couldn't. Their singing didn't sound like it. You could feel the accent when they were trying to sing in the interview. And that's what I'm talking about. Ozzy's reaction during the Grammys was priceless. Yeah, we were just kind of crap.
What's up, Mike?
Mike came in just for the last one. But yeah, that's basically I felt sorry for these guys because they basically everybody took it out on them, and the asshole from the record label, he won. He absolutely won. Even though it was totally his idea. Now, whether that first one, because there was even in the documentary, there was still some controversy about that first song about Girl, You Know It's True, as to whether they were forced to lip sync it under contract or whether they were willing to do it. Because I'm gonna say Fabrice, who because Rob passed away in '98. Fabrice said that they were forced to do it. They said, well, you're under contract, or you either do it or you're in violation and you have to pay us money. And then the woman who was the secretary or whatever that worked with the record guy, she said, oh no, we just told him, and they was like totally willing to do it.
She seems shady in herself. I don't trust her.
No, and I think it's closer to the truth that if you've got a contract, then they're going to force you to live up to the contract. If they're going to threaten you with money, but for her to claim that they weren't threatened or anything like that, I don't know. But I think it was closer to the truth that they were probably threatened with a lawsuit or something if they didn't follow through with it.
Because they were young, dumb, they didn't know. Yeah. They just wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. A lot of stuff going on there, and who knows who.
Yeah.
If there's.
I feel bad for him. I mean, especially it's Rob that passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, that's sad.
Rob passed. But yeah, I mean, when I talked to him, and this is one of the reasons why this is my favorite movie of the week. And originally, I didn't want to see this because I didn't want.
I remember that.
I didn't want the spotlight on these guys again because I was so disappointed when everything came out, and then I felt so bad for them in talking to them. This hits home for me because I got to know these guys a little bit, and Rob was in a horrible place. They were both, like I said, they were both high. I can't tell you what they were doing, but it was harder than cocaine, whatever it was. And like Rob was in tears, and he actually thought that he sang the songs. He was under this delusion that he was singing the songs and it was his music. And I was like, but I was like, but no, you didn't. You didn't sing the song. And he's like, I sang the songs every day, and I'm maybe in the bathroom. But I was like, I never said that to him. I just felt for him because you could tell that he genuinely thought those songs were it, because he had taken so many drugs and he lived under that delusion for years. For them to tell him that no, that's not yours, give me the Grammy. He was just he basically hit rock bottom and never
but
really came out.
It does have a happy ending. I mean, look at that one dude. I don't know.
Look at how Fabrice has grown since then. I mean, even in the last bit. And if you guys get a chance to see this, watch the documentary, because in the end, Fabrice sings "Blame It on the Rain," and it sounds good.
I was gonna say I didn't think he sounded bad at the end there.
Not at all.
He sounded good.
Yeah.
He sounded good. He even had a little run at the end, and I was like, Fabrice has taken the time to learn the craft. And is doing what he loves again.
But not only that, I mean, his life in general. He's got a family, wife.
Yeah, he's got his wife and kids, and the wife's like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I liked that. I really liked that.
It made me feel. I mean, it actually made me have emotions for these dudes that I thought were jokes. And then once you learn what was behind the scenes, you really see how shitty the music and Hollywood industry is.
Well, I just hate all the people in the background in the music industry with them that are like, oh, we didn't know, but they sure have millions and millions of dollars in their bank account from it. So I'm like, you didn't know. I can't buy that.
Yeah. And
how far would they have gotten?
The redhead, especially when she laughed at the beginning about being serious. Yeah. Really with that. Jay says I really enjoyed the documentary. The media was nasty to them, and Clive Davis knew what was going on. He absolutely knew what was going on. Jeff says I believe the contract story more. There have been lots of contract fudging people for a long time. Absolutely. It's they pulled that crap with Prince. That's why he changed his name.
Yeah.
Was because they were trying, you're under contract, blah, blah, blah. Prince is under contract. Okay, well, I'm not going to be Prince. I'm going to change my name to a symbol. That's why, Sean Combs changed his name like every 3 or 4 years because he could just get out of a contract that way.
Yeah.
But, man, but yeah, I really felt for these guys. And I got more information than I knew. And I felt I knew a lot about what happened, but I got more information. But yeah, there is no way. I understand that the immediate manager, thought that they were actually singing, and he's the one that put him up for the nomination.
Yeah,
for a Grammy.
If it wasn't for him, if I would have,
and if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for the Grammy nomination and stuff, they probably would have been able to keep going. But because of that,
how many people nowadays lip sync their concerts? It's all over the place.
Shania Twain lip synced the Super Bowl, and everybody pitched a bit about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everybody lip sync. Everybody uses auto tune. How is that any different than what they were doing? Except, I mean, they did the same thing to CNC Music Factory, and only when Milli Vanilli did this and they got spanked, CNC Music, MTV went, okay, you guys need to come clean before.
I remember that.
So the music video, and it was just the girl, the female lead. They were like, no, you have to sing. We're not going to have this other person do the singing for you. Mike says, shit, look what they did to Taylor Swift. She had to go and re-record albums that she wrote to begin with. Now the labels are adding shady language about having to wait 10 years to be able to do that. Yeah. I didn't care. I was at a concert last night. No lip syncing. See? This shit is still happening today, and nobody holds the labels' feet to the fire. Yeah. No, there's the record labels make all the money. You think the artists make the money? No. Record labels make all the money.
You got to own your own music. You got to own your own work. Don't.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been to some great concerts when there's no lip syncing, and then I've been to some concerts where I knew there was lip syncing. Milli Vanilli being one of them, because I saw them in concert in '89, and I was like, they're lip syncing, but they're dancing and stuff, so I can buy that. But then, when with the interviews and stuff, and then I saw them again in '92, then I knew what was going on. But I saw New Kids on the Block; they lip synced.
Yeah.
And then I see, Def Leppard in concert, no lip syncing. They sang that whole thing. They were fantastic, best concert. And then NXS was another really great concert, sang all the songs. I could tell there was no lip syncing. It was awesome. Auto-tune is the devil, just like football. It's like when Flames did a revamp album of Flamin', knowing Jester couldn't sing like that anymore. Yeah. Okay. Totally get that, Chris. Oh, speaking of soundtrack, and I hate to jump back to The Killer, but I love the soundtrack. It was all the Smiths, and I love the Smiths in the '80s. But what got me, if you guys watch The Killer, watch it with subtitles, because you get the title of the song, and the title of the song means something to the part in the movie that they're in when the song plays. It was really cool.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
When the woman got hurt and the guy was like doing the research trying to figure out who did it, the song that plays is titled "Woman in a Coma."
Oh.
So the title of the song actually means something in the movie, and it was really cool. They did that like several times with the Smith songs. So I saw New Kids, no lip sync at the show. That's cool. There was lip syncing.
Dude, I'm sorry, guys. You see New Kids on the Block.
I'm sorry you saw it. I'm sorry I saw it. But I took a date and I had sex afterwards.
But that's different.
So I'm okay with that.
You did it for the nookie.
I did it for the nookie. I didn't mind paying for the price of the show if they were really going to put on a real show. Side note, I really hope the Taylor Swift concert movie experience thing doesn't become a norm. Oh, Beyonce's doing it. Beyonce's already doing it. She's already going to play. She's already planning it.
I'd say, look at all the money that she made off of that.
Here's the thing: Beyonce's won't be as successful.
Won't be as big
successful as nowhere near Taylor Swift's.
No. Levin.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
No,
not one bit.
No, I don't. I'm okay with that stuff, but yeah, no. Def Leppard and NXS, best concerts I've been to ever.
I've seen Def Leppard. They opened for Kiss. They did put on a good show. I like Def Leppard.
There's some great, pyro and stuff, but as far as just straight up music, NXS was the best.
I wish I would have saw Caveman or Van Halen.
Caveman? I bet you like it. I wish I like Caveman in concert. He's got to be good.
I
Eagles,
like
Van Halen, awesome in concert.
You know who sucks in concert? Is
Guns N' Roses. Oh, I was just. Guns N' Roses always leaves. I went to them and Stone Temple Pilots. Stone Temple Pilots never show up to a concert, and Guns N' Roses leaves in the second song.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Oh, Slayer was great live. Slayer's great. I do like them. Lip syncing is fine if it's your own vocals. I don't. Yeah, not what these knuckleheads did. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. But I'll take it it was their fault. I think they fell into it, and I think the record label guy made him do this. Michael Bublé is amazing live. Ashley
she did.
Simpson got caught lip syncing live on SNL. Yes, she did.
I remember that.
Yeah, just like the Shania Twain, man. There was a big thing when Shania Twain got caught lip syncing on, and the fact that Grammys, you always have to perform live. But they paid that dude off so that Milli Vanilli could lip sync the track, and that's why the audience was like, "I know they're not singing," and that reaction from Ozzy Osbourne said it all. But yeah, let's go to our highlights for Milli Vanilli. This has taken our number one spot. So I'm gonna get to riches. I'm gonna get to riches in a second.
And Evan, you be quiet.
Yeah. So Corey, you have a 10 for cast, which we modified because they automatically get a 4, and then you add from there because it's a documentary. So 10 for cast, you gave a 9 to the plot, and then you gave 8s to ending and story and wild card. Solid. I gave 10s to cast, story, and music. And then I gave a 9 to the wild card and 8s to ending, script, and cinematography. Deep breath. Rich, you gave 10s to plot, ending, story, script, direction, music, and wild card. And an 8 to cinematography and a 4 for cast because you took the default. But I think this is not my favorite documentary of the year, but it's definitely up there. I still like Still. Still is my favorite documentary of the year with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
And I
agree
believe
with that.
that's going to get the Oscar for best documentary feature. At least the nomination, but I'd like to see it win for best
I
documentary.
can see it. With it.
But I did enjoy this. I enjoyed this more than Wham, and I enjoyed this more than Sly for sure. What was that? Yeah. Dell, some lip syncing is fine if they're actually dancing and putting on a full show.
Yeah.
I agree. And that was the thing with New Kids on the Block. They were doing the dancing, they were doing that hanging tough bullshit, and they were lip syncing the song. I'm okay with that. John Doe, yeah, okay. Said it was okay to lip sync if it's your voice. Yeah. And so did Dell. Aerosmith was
dude.
great too.
I'm gonna tell you, Kate, man.
I also liked Bad Company twice. Damn Yankees was great. Okay,
I
so
like Damn Yankees.
70s Aerosmith or 90s Aerosmith?
It was early 2000 because they were touring with Kiss, and after you see Kiss, then you got Aerosmith. They looked terrible on stage. They weren't moving. They just looked like they were landed too like a bump on a log, man. I was like, what the I left. I was like, I ain't gonna stick around for this.
I'm out. So Kiss opened for Aerosmith?
Yeah. What they were doing is they were rotating. One night Kiss would go first, and the next night Aerosmith would go first. Yeah. Oh, and I was like, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Reminds me of do you remember the movie The Rocker with Rainn Wilson? And it was like Josh Gad and Emma Stone's in it. And the band was called Vesuvius. And it was like Bradley Cooper and Will Arnett. And there's like some like these, and they were all like trying to speak British, but they weren't. And Rainn Wilson was actually the drummer on that band. He was called Fish or whatever. And then they kicked him out of the band and became famous. And I'm getting crickets. You guys, but
I don't remember the movie. I've never seen it.
I remember it, but I have not seen it all the way through. I remember catching a bit of it. But.
So did you say Rainn Wilson? I'm out.
Yeah, I actually liked him in the movie. I'm not a Rainn Wilson fan, but I liked him in the movie. And basically, their first song that they did it online because they were all in different spots. And Rainn Wilson's character was living in the boiler room of a Chinese restaurant, and he performed on the drums naked because he didn't know he was on camera. And it was so hot in the boiler room because that's where he was living that he was just naked all the time. So they got like millions of hits on YouTube because he was naked drumming, and they were all like, okay, let's just go. And Emma Stone was on the keyboard, and Josh Gad was on the keyboard. Emma Stone was playing the bass or something like that. And I can't remember who the lead singer kid was, but it was funny. I think Christina Applegate's in it as one of the moms, and they kind of have a relationship. And it was just,
I've never heard of it.
It cracked me up. It was funny, and I liked it. I'm gonna have to grab it because I have it in my drawer of DVDs. Let's see.
I might have to check that out now.
Brian. Okay, so everyone saying hi. Hagar and David Lee Roth had a tour where they alternated openings.
I prefer Hagar over David Lee Roth.
Wow, I'm the other way. I prefer David Lee Roth as the original. I like Sammy Hagar more as a solo artist. I Can't Drive 55 and all that, but like he has that one song that's on Twister, and I can't remember the name of it, where he's singing with Van Halen, and I call it Van Hagar.
Yeah, everybody loves Van Hagar. Yeah,
but
I like
both.
both.
I'd have to pick Roth over Hagar, but I think Hagar's the better singer.
Yeah.
The Rocker is a funny movie. Thanks, Jay. Somebody recognizes the movie. But let's go to our final scores and close this out for Milli Vanilli. And I think you're gonna like this, Rich, because we've been talking about it and it's finally happened. IMDb gives this a 7.5. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 100%. Audience score 89%. Rich, your first 90 in months.
Yeah.
Comes with this documentary. So Rich gave it a 90. I gave it an 82. Corey gave it a 71. Total average score 78.5. I love both in Van Halen. All right, fine. Come on. Me too. Blame it on the Rainn Wilson. Never cared for Rainn Wilson either, Rich, although he was great in one season of 6 Feet Under. That's one series I never saw. I've
never seen it either.
But I hated The Office. I was not a fan of that show.
I don't like The Office either.
Because I worked in an office and I didn't want to watch a sitcom about an office. But that's it. Great show, guys.
Man. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Have a hole with us.
Yeah, this
was awesome. And I know your number one movie was The Killer, but you did say you were close with this one and you're within 8 points. So totally get it. Sammy wrote better songs. Roth was a better stage performer. Yes, I agree with that. Roth was a better stage performer. Unsubscribe, Office fan here. Bye, Evan.
I'm sorry to hear that, Evan.
Nobody's perfect, Evan. Oh my God, you've not seen 6 Feet Under? No.
Thank you,
stuff, guys. Thanks, bro. Yeah, catch the replay. I really appreciate that. And if you guys haven't already, throw us a like. And also in the description are Wilkie's movies and music places there. You can find them on Letterboxd, YouTube, and Instagram. I've got all the links in the description. So you guys go over to Wilkie's, give him a follow. He's got last I checked 86 subs. I'm not following you on Letterboxd either, but I am on YouTube and Instagram. But you've only been on YouTube for a short time. You've already got 86 followers, so I'm looking for you to hit 100 really soon. And I hope you do. Do you have any movies? Yeah, tell us about your. Tell us about your YouTube page and what you're doing on there. Anything coming up?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've been thinking about doing it forever, and I was holding off. I was scared to do it, and I finally was like, you know what? I'll just do it. A couple people gave me some push in the right direction, and I was glad they did. They were just like, don't worry about it being perfect. Just start hitting record. So right now I'm just trying to get some stuff out there, kind of work through my jitters, putting some videos out. I would love to do some live streaming as well. There's some things I thought about doing, some groups, watching movies and, having discussion about them. Still trying to put that stuff together, but right now just kind of feeling it out, seeing which way I'm going to go. But I still love following, guys like you, and I love joining in the chat, and I still get a kick out of that. So you'll still see me doing that, popping up, here and there, because I love the community. I love the back and forth and the talking together.
Yeah.
It's totally cool.
And we appreciate you. We really do. We appreciate you showing up in the chats when you do. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I do what I can.
And then going, hey, I'd like to be on the show. And I'm like, really?
Dude, I got excited when David messaged me. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you're making some content. Love to get on live with you sometime, Corey. You know what?
Oh, absolutely.
Jeff, I'll hold you to that. We'll get you and Corey on with us.
Oh, that sounds like a
And
plan to me.
We'll do a fatal four-way. That might be a good show. Because yeah, Jeff's another person. I've talked to him recently.
I've never talked to him.
And Jeff's a really cool guy because we were in the DVD tournament together.
Oh.
And we talked after the show on Bob's Blu-rays. And what great conversation. Jeff and I were just like talking about marriage and life, and it was awesome. So yeah,
Awesome.
Jeff, I'd love to have you on with us here, and we'll do a by the numbers, or we'll have you guys pick some movies that we watch. We'll pick some movies that you watch, and we'll just kind of talk about them. You know, we'll do a big giant movie swap. You know, have Dell in the middle officiating,
Moderate it.
moderating the whole thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Jay, it's all right, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, we appreciate you. We
Appreciate it.
appreciate every one of you guys.
We love you guys
take the
coming
time
on
to
at
join
any
us.
point. Four-way. This is getting an X-rated show. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll bring the lotion though this time. So me too, please. Caveman, we got you on the 28th for your high five or high six. Or actually, I'm going to call it a six-pack. So we're going to have a six-pack. We're going to have a six-pack with Caveman on the 28th.
I'm
just
looking
after
forward to that.
Thanksgiving. That's going to be a lot of fun. But before I get out, I've got to get the fine tuning out of the way before, or the fine print out of the way. I love to help each other aspect of this community. We appreciate that, brother. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. If I'm available, I'm more than happy as well. Chris, yeah, we'd love to have you on, brother. Yeah, Brian was late too. Jeez. Come on, Brian. No, you guys come on late and you watch, appreciate it, and then you go back and watch the beginning. I love that.
Me
So
too.
yeah, thank you guys for watching. Are we gonna have a cameo? Nope. She didn't make it. She got part way here and she turned around and went back. My granddaughter was like, nah, I'm not gonna.
Not tonight.
No. Yeah. Piper, you want to say hi? No, over here. She said hi. Piper, want to say hello? Come here. Come here.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
Say
Hi.
hello.
Yeah.
You gonna get what?
That's
What are you gonna get? Did you like the movie? She
That's
talks
awesome.
exactly like me. Say movie. Yeah, movie. Yeah, sign language for movie. She just did that.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie. What movie do you like? Do you like? Okay, bye guys. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good job. So
What a blessing, man.
Yeah, cutie.
yeah, she's awesome.
Absolutely, Joe.
Everybody gets excited. Yeah, I dig it, and gotta go play some Call of Duty with the son.
You have fun,
Thanks,
Evan.
Evan. Good job, brother. Brian Waves, appreciate that. Yeah, that's my granddaughter Piper. She's 4, and yeah, she's awesome. It's,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So-
fun having her around.
David, when's our next show?
Our next show is early. So next week is Thanksgiving week. So we have a very special episode of By the Numbers. Episode 45 is going to be on Monday the 20th at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern time. We have 6 movies on the docket. What have we got, Rich?
We have Appendage, which you can find on Hulu. We have The Marbles, which is in the movie theaters. We have Rustin, which is on Netflix, which drops this Friday. Old Dads on Netflix. And Sister Death on Netflix. We're Netflix heavy because there's just not a lot of physical media coming out that's new that we haven't already reviewed because it was in the theater. So we're Netflix heavy, digital heavy, and
Yeah.
Hulu heavy.
There's a lot of those I haven't heard of, so I'll have to go check those out. Some of those out as
Yeah.
well.
There was one movie on here I did not expect to like.
my pick.
Yeah, it was David's pick, and
Yeah,
I thought we'd seen it already.
Yeah.
Eh,
And I was like, no, I watched it. I was like, no, you haven't seen this, bro.
I really liked it. So those are our movies next week. So guys, do your homework and come back and join us.
Yep. And before I go, fine print, we got to talk about Spotify. So Spotify for podcasting takes the audio portion of our live cast and puts it out on their Spotify, of course. They also take us on to Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Radio, Podcast, Castbox, Radio Public, Google Podcast. That's the order I wanted to do it in. They sponsor us. They, once we get more followers, they get us more sponsors. So if you guys haven't already, please follow us on Spotify, and then you can watch us on any or listen to us on any of those while you go into work or something like that. All these By the Numbers episodes, our high fives, all of that shows up on Spotify. Hopefully, you guys can follow us there and check us out. And then Corey, this is for you. If you start doing live streams, you can go to StreamYard, and they actually have a free service that they provide where you can actually go on live and it'll automatically attach to your YouTube page. And then for a small fee, you can actually attach to multiple social media sites, and you can actually download pictures and video clips and backgrounds and all that kind of good stuff. But with their free basic service, you can actually do video clips. And Rich actually has that to help him out with his we're not
David's
supposed to watch
awesome with
but with putting video clips in, and we when he does his comic talk shows and stuff like that, I do my best to help out. So I wanted to acknowledge that. Caveman watched Old Dads today. I watch Old Dads every time I look in the mirror. Are those on YouTube Music? No, we're not on YouTube Music, but I will look that up, Jeff, and see if I can get on there. Great job, guys, especially Corey.
Corey's
All right,
awesome,
Caveman.
man.
We're going to say goodbye to Caveman, but
Yeah, it's like banned, blocked.
yeah, we're going to put you on a 5-minute timeout. Don't touch, baby. All right, so we are going to sign off for the night. Corey, again, thank you so much for joining us this week for By the
Yeah, thank
Numbers.
you.
It has been an absolute honor to have you on here.
It was a blast.
But definitely, if you want to come back on, if you're a glutton for punishment and you want to do this again, we have our schedule on the About section of YouTube, but we also do like the next on the Faces for Radio Instagram page. Are you trying to get my lap again? Just trying to get back up here. Okay. But I'm going to talk, okay? I know. So Faces for Radio on Instagram is going to, don't press any buttons yet, is going to have our next few weeks coming up. So we'll show the movies coming up. But if you see a week that you want to be on, Corey, or you guys that are in the chat, okay, you're evicted. Go that way. If anybody who's on wants to be on the show, and you look and you're required to watch all the movies in the By the Numbers episode, and you have to give me the scores in advance. But I've been more than happy to have you guys on the show as we move forward. So if you guys want to be on the show, let us know. If you want to be on High Five, let us know. Where you pick the movies and we score them.
That's fun too.
Which, I got to get Grant from Movie Buff Grant on. I like his idea, so we're going to move forward with that. That'll probably be February of next year, I think, February or March.
Yeah.
So the High Five we only do once a month until summer. But By the Numbers is every week. So if you guys want to be on, just hit either one of us up, Rich or I, on Instagram, or message the Facebook Radio on Instagram, and we'll let you know the schedule coming up and see when you want to join us. But yeah, we'd love to have you guys on. Just like it was great to have Corey on, but I think we're going to sign out. So, Rich, Corey, anything you want to close out with before we get out of here?
Just thank you, Corey, again, for taking the time watching these 5 or 6 movies. Normally 5, but we did 6. And thank you, Dave, for doing all the work you put in for it. You keep us running, and that's it. God bless everyone.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you very much for having me on. This was a blast. I had such a good time. I would definitely come hang out with you guys again. It's kind of cool when you get together with a few people that it's just, shooting the breeze, talking some movies, and I actually like being able to branch out and maybe watch some that I normally would not have watched. Whether I end up liking them or not, it's an experience, and I enjoyed going through it. So I appreciate it very much having me on. I had a blast.
Awesome. Oh, Rich, before we go, Film and Friends, do we have an idea when that's coming up?
I was supposed to do it this Thursday, but I have to work tomorrow. I think I'm going to put it off because the holiday season, every Thursday is going to be busy for me. I think Film and Friends is going to launch in 2024. Hopefully January. We'll shoot for January. And Corey,
I'm
man,
down for that. But yeah, Corey, we'll keep you in mind for that, because Film and Friends is basically going to be a bunch of guys on the panel. We're going to shoot the breeze about movies.
Yeah.
Talk about purchases and things like that. Whatever comes to mind, and answer whatever comes in the chat. So basic Q&A and just talking smack through the whole thing, and nothing specific. So yeah, we'll definitely. I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah,
and I'd love to have you on for that show as well.
Sounds like fun.
Awesome. So, all right. So for Corey and Rich and myself, I want to say thank you guys very much. If we don't see you next week, again, our episode is on Monday, the 20th. But if we don't see you next week, have a great and happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you next time on the Faces for Radio podcast. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Ya.